So I'm back again, guys. Welcome back to another show, and I'm John. And tonight I've got a Burnley fan with us, and I've got Dean with us. And good evening to you, Dino.
Good evening, John.
And Dean, how's things to you, mate?
Very well, mate. Very well. Thank you very much. Yourself?
Champion, not very bad. Just a wee bit nervous going into the game on Sunday against you lot at Turf Moor. It's going to be very tough, and I'll be happy for a point, but this is just squeaky bomb time at the match. So yeah, it is what it is.
It is. I think it's not going to be a brilliant game. I think it's going to be a draw, which would suit us. I never want us to play for a draw at home, but it'll keep you below us. And then I think it'll suit you as well. I think it'll be 0-0.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, a point would be fine. I'll take a point. But we're going to need to win more games. I mean, I'll be happy with 2 more wins. But if we finish 17th at the end of the season, if we stop up and finish 17th, will I be celebrating? Probably not, because in my personal opinion, we should never be in that position in the first place, because we finished 10th and 12th under Rafa Benitez. We finished 13th for last year, and now at the minute we're 17th. So I just do not want to be celebrating if we stay up. But I'd rather get Steve Bruce sort of thing. But
well, you look at your team. You look at Burnley's team and Newcastle's team on paper.
Yeah.
And, in my opinion, very even the match teams. If anything, you've probably got a little bit more quality than us. I think what defines us from yourselves is we've got a manager who organises us. Every player knows exactly what job they should be doing. And every single one of them players on that pitch every game puts 110% in. I think that's the difference between Newcastle and Burnley at the minute.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And it's just the way we play football at the minute. It's not really exciting. All it is just hitting the long balls all the time, which is, I mean, before I go on, can you, guys, if you're watching the show, can you please subscribe if you are new, and also smash the like button as well, and leave your comments in the sections down below. If you've got any questions for Dean, please leave in the comment sections down there. Ask the question, and Dean will be quite happy to answer them. And yeah, you're right. I mean, you think about it, right? I mean, like I said, it's going to be very, very close, I think. Look at the two teams, like you said. I mean, on paper, we've got a better team than Burnley, right? Being rude. But at the end of the day, you're right. I mean, we've got to play as a team. We've got to start scoring goals and start winning games. And we haven't done that. I mean, Dean, you haven't won at home since January. And that's a bit of a worry for you.
We haven't, but then you look and most of the results have been draws. To be fair, we got battered off West Brom at home and we managed to scrape a draw. We've drew with Fulham and Brighton and Arsenal and Leicester as well. So, when you look at them stats, it says we haven't won since January, but we think we've lost 1 game this year at home. We could do with turning them into 3 points. But sometimes the performances have been there. It's just been the rub of the green.
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, Sean Dash is getting your team difficult to beat, especially at home. You play 4-4-2.
Yeah.
And, you do play good football as well, but not pretty at times, I've got to say it, but you play with 2 wingers. And there's one player I do like for your team is Dwight McNeil. I think the guy is
going to come on to him. I think, I said 0-0, but the difference could be if you're playing Kraft at right back, and he's up against Dwight McNeil, that is a massive, massive area, because I think that Kraft is. I don't want to assassinate your team, but I think he's shite. He seems all right going forward, but defensively he's pretty poor.
Mate, I'd rather take Hecky B at right back. Do you know what I mean? Pay 25 million for Hecky B. That's never going to happen. But at the end of the day, when Emil Kraft joined us, he used to play for Bologna. I watch a lot of Italian football because I love Italian football. He used to play for Bologna. And seriously, man, I mean, Newcastle fans, when we bought him from Amiens in the French league, right? Everyone's calling him out, label him as the Swedish Cafu, right? So I just sat back and I just say, look at me chops. And I just say, whoa, hang on a minute. You call this guy the Swedish Cafu? I say no. You know what I mean? And this guy is on 57.5 grand a week at Newcastle.
Yeah, no, I can see it. I think the Newcastle team's got a different balance when you got Manquillo at right back. I think what I would say about Kraft is I don't think he's a right back. Looking at him, It doesn't seem to me to be a right back. He looks all right when he's going forward, bringing the ball past the halfway line, but going the other way, if McNeil's on his game like he were against Everton the other week, then I think there could be trouble for Newcastle.
Definitely, because he's the key man for you guys as well. And I think this guy will play for England in the future years because I do like him. He's got a lovely left foot on him. He's quick. He's so direct, skillful, and he's got a lovely left foot on the guy. And I think
he won't be there next year. He won't be there next year, put it that way.
Just can't see it. I mean, what's he worth? 35, 40 million?
Yeah, for now he is. But, you know, that he's had so many appearances. I think he's had over 100 appearances. He's only like in his early 20s. That's Premier League appearances. So he is important to us. He is, because what a lot of people don't see is, as much as he is creative, in Sean Dyche's team, we can't afford a luxury. So every single one of the players will track back.
Yeah.
Got that to his game as well.
This is it. And we'll have to see what happens on that one there, sort of thing. But if we sold ASM, if he wants to move away from Newcastle United for, say, 40, 50 million pound, that's being hypothetically, if we sold him for that sort of money, we'll come to you and buy Drayton McNeil off. He's got no problems with that at all whatsoever. But it's not happening yet. But if I just go in the comment section, my guy, I've got the first one is Jason. Hey, John Dean, hope you're well. We're fine. I've got Sean. I'll be happy with Joe. Sean, subscribe to my channel. I believe it's your first time on my channel. Thanks so much for coming on. Do you want Henry back? He's all for lazy first, Steve.
See, when because obviously living up here as well, again, I'm around a lot of Geordies. And when he went, to be fair, I weren't happy that he went under the circumstances, because we should have offered him another contract. Now, is he a first-team player? No. You know, and at Newcastle, he seems to have gone backwards. I don't know what it is. But even with us, he'd be a 1 in 3, 1 in 4 game kind of player. But no, we don't want him back, thanks. You can keep him.
I'll tell you what, man, real talk. I mean, this guy, we keep asking the same question. What does he offer us? What does he offer us to the team? And I'm afraid he just offers an absolutely note. Sorry, he just doesn't offer you an absolutely sweet F here. I mean, for me, I'll just drive him back to where he was again. But, I mean, Burnley fans are laughing now at Jeff Hendrick. I'm not.
Oh, yeah.
Bless you. I've got Sean there, but Burnley are jammy as like. And I've got Sean again. He's rubbish. Yeah, I totally agree. And I've got Jason. You're right. Kraft is shite. I hope we play Manculo instead. Scotland. You don't you? Well, it is, man. But yeah, I want to talk on to Sean Dyche. He's been in your club for 8-9 seasons now, and he's a legend at your club. I mean, he got you up, then he got you relegated, then he got you back up again because he was too strong for the Championship. Didn't really so well in the Championship, but he got you up there, and then he kept you up in the Premier League with limited amounts of money. And he spends well. He knows the player he wants. He looks for the attitude. He doesn't buy prima donnas at your club. And if you look at the players you bought, I mean, like I said, Drayton McNeil came from the ranks, I think, and I love the guy. And, excuse me, that Tarkovsky and Burnley at the back looks absolutely solid at the back. And you got Nick Pope as well, Barnsley at right back. You got Eric Peters, the left back, Charlie Taylor as a backup. You got a good defence there.
We have, but Charlie Taylor will be Eric Peters has been having a good few games, but Charlie Taylor will always start. He's class. Left back, quick, gets up and down, good player. You talk about Sean Dyche, and his philosophy has been throughout that 8 or 9 years the spine of the team, i.e., the goalkeeper, 2 centre halves, and a centre forward and a good centre midfielder, and everybody else just gets built around that. In terms of what he's done for my club, like I say, he is a legend, because not only is he, we've built a grade A training centre. We're signing players behind the scenes, young 16, 15-year-olds. Mm-hmm. You know, he's a proper old school manager where he has a say in absolutely everything to do with the club. The thing that really is good for me, because he won't leave Burnley, is he never gets enough credit. You know, Eddie Howe gets all the plaudits. He was at Burnley, don't forget, before Sean Dyche.
Yeah.
They were absolutely terrible. He had no plan B. But Dyche, I can't speak highly enough of him.
I think he's a decent manager, Sean Dyche. Well, I'd take him to Newcastle. I mean, if he did came to us, I'd back him. No problems at all. But he'll not work on the Mike Ashley. Just absolutely no chance he work on the Mike Ashley.
Not only that, I don't
You know
think
what it is, team, right? You walk in, right, and as you would be interviewing him, he would be asking the one question: where do you want this club to be? And if he says just stay in the Premier League, he'll just say, "Thanks, mate. I'll go back to Burnley." Do you know what I mean?
yeah, that's exactly it. But at the end of the day, like, you know, it won't work under Ashley's regime. And not only that, I don't think the Newcastle fans would accept that style of football that he plays. I know you've got it at the minute, but going forward, I don't think you'd welcome another manager that sets up on a 4-4-2 defensive style.
Nah, which is a shame. But he makes you hard to beat, though. You have beaten some good teams. You took 4 points off Arsenal, and you've beaten some teams under Sean Dyche over the years. You know, I think you beat Liverpool this season, right?
Yeah, we did.
And you know, you've been some cracking teams, and you know, he's picking up points where you need the points, and that's why he keeps you up every season. I think, for me, I think he's at a perfect club. Is he going to go to another club in the future, a bigger club like an Everton, maybe, or could it be yours? It could it be, you know, like a solid mid-table club?
If he did, John, he'd get my blessing, because I think he deserves it for what he's done for us. I'd be gutted that he's gone. But at the end of the day, when you're looking at the size of football clubs, and you're right what you're saying there is bigger clubs out there. You know, we're only a village football team, really, when you think about it. We're a town of 65,000 people. I was brought up on Division 4 football, so for what we're experiencing at the minute, you know, we're happy. I can understand your frustrations at surviving every year, but for us, I think that's his number one priority.
Yeah, definitely. And he might be thinking he's taking Burnley as far as he could. And yeah, I was going to say, I think he just mentioned, I thought you mentioned some of there as well. I mean, the training ground as well, the new training facility sort of thing as well. I mean, how much did you pay for your training facility, if you don't mind me asking?
I think it was £6.5 million we paid. The old training facilities, I went to the secondary school right next to the old training ground. It's the same training ground, but different, at the same premises. And basically, it was just a cesspit in the winter. You couldn't train on it. It was like a bog. Now it's just state of the art. It's A1. It's up there with the best training facilities in the country.
I tell you what, I wish I want to spend £6.5 million on a training facility as well, because I don't know if you've seen our training facility. I'll comment out in a minute. I mean, I've got Jason again. Please check out his new channel as well. He's just started as well. And Jason saying,
I was going to say then, John. You know, a lot of Burnley fans, when we paid £6.5 million for the training facility, were all bumping the gums. You only need one player to come out of that academy for it to pay for itself, and Dwight McNeil came out of it. So, you know, hopefully, with his fee, it'll pay for it and more.
Wow. Absolutely. That's what you need to do. I mean, be ambitious, pay the $6 million or whatever it may be, right? I'll comment on in a minute, yeah. Just go to the sport quickly. What went through your mind? What went through your mind when you let that 2-goal lead slip? And do you feel there'd be more reaction against us?
Well, to be fair, I thought it was a good performance from Burnley. We went 2-0 up, and we were on top. What we did do is we sat back a little bit, I think. They've got a quality team, and they were, the first, say, half an hour, they were well below it. They turned it up. One of his ex-players, Danny Ings, scored. I thought they were value for the win. But again, I weren't too disappointed with the performance, because we showed a bit, especially going forward. Reaction against Hughes, well, we never really have. Like I said before, we always put 100% in every game. The players will be out there this week. They'll know what to do. And like I say, I'll be very surprised if we get beat come Sunday.
Yep, fair enough. I mean, go back to the training facility quick last sort of thing. Rafa Benitez, former manager, he begged Ashley to build a new training facility sort of thing. I think it's like £8-10 million of it, right? And he was promised he's going to get it done. And on this very day, right, it still hasn't been done. I don't know if you've seen our training facility at Newcastle. It's like a park.
It's supposed to be bad. Like, I've never seen it myself, but it's supposed to be bad, isn't it?
Absolutely shocking. I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if you get a top quality manager come into Newcastle, the first thing they say, they don't want to look at the training for the stadium. They also want to check everything. I mean, the hospitals, they want to check on the treatment room, they want to check on the training facilities as well. And if they look at the training facility, and they're thinking, wow, this is like National League standard. I'm not going to come to Newcastle. I mean, the pitch is awful, right? I mean, it's old-fashioned. It's like the 70s, 80s style park, you know what I mean? But Ashley does not care about Newcastle United. If he did care, he would have sacked Steve Bruce. even a sort of the training facility out, you would have helped Rafa a bit more. Do you know what I mean? And it's crazy, man.
Well, I just think if you're a professional footballer, you know, you're going into training, you've got to enjoy it. You know, going into a new facility like the Burnley players have got, they've got hydro pools, they've got this, they've got that. I think it makes a massive difference. Not only that, I think it'll make a difference on injuries as well. If you're playing on bad pitches and your training pitches is boggy or whatever, you're more likely to pick up injuries, especially this season when you're playing like every other day, it seems.
I know, yeah, it's just absolutely crazy. I mean, you do get a pretty bad injury as well. We do get our injury record under Boost is absolutely shocking. We had a few players who Wilson's been out, ASM's been out, Lascelles is out to the end of the season, even though you reckon he's going to be back for the last 2 games. I'm not sure of that. And our injuries are just absolutely terrible. Not to mention Michael Owen. And I tell you something now, right? I mean, when he came with an injury, and I'm sorry, it ain't acceptable. But if we need now to get ourselves sorted out, get the training facility sorted, because we need a takeover, Dean, at Newcastle badly. And if we don't, then our club, we just could go into oblivion. Yeah,
well, you know, this takeover. I've been up here 6 years now, like, and that's a lot of it since I've got here. So I'll be happy when you get taken over as well. Like, when it happens, you know, who knows? I don't know if Ashley really wants to sell the club to me. If you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, he needs to. If they don't, then I'm sorry, but we get relegated and we never come back up again ever again. I got Jason here. We trade you one of our £25 wheelie bins, ice baths, actual bathtub, put ice in. I got Paul here. Whitley Bay have better training facilities than us. Sounds about right. Wolves took the lead just on half time. We're safe, and that's great news. Hi, all. Hi, Leila. Hope you're okay. And Sean said, get in. Paul said, lads, Wolves are winning. And Wolves have just scored.
Excellent.
Which is great news for Newcastle. This is the thing. Should we really have to rely on other teams to stay up, though? Or do you think you have to do our own thing?
Well, I don't know. Being a Burnley fan, our expectations aren't your expectations. So for us, you know, it's even though we finished high up the table on numerous occasions. Yeah. I think I always look at other people's results at the bottom because of the quality on our side. You know, the effort can't be denied, but the quality is not. You know, we can't even compete with Fulham in terms of quality. But for Newcastle United, having to rely on Fulham to get beat at home against Wolves, you know, I think of the team of the 90s, and I'm like, well, yeah, how far removed you are from that team at the minute.
Aye. Wow, I had to build a time machine to get here. Thanks for coming on, Aaron, my guy. And it's been disallowed a goal. The goal's been disallowed. Still 0-0 Fulham. Still 0-0 at Craven College. So that's not good. You know what I mean? But it is sad, man. But yeah, I mean, just so we can on that one. But I mean, if you look at Burnley's history, sort of thing, and I think is it Cliff someone you had, Cliff Barnes or Cliff someone back in the 70s who left you to go to Tottenham?
No, but what we've had
Burnley
our hero, the guy who got a stand name after is Jimmy McElroy.
Yeah,
he was in the team of the 60s when we won the old first division in 1960 and 61.
Yeah.
We've had loads of good players, and that team that won the league in 1960-61. I think I might be mistaken, but I think there were 7 or 8 players from the northeast in that side.
Wow! Did you hear that, guys?
Jack Nixon.
Wow! Didn't know that.
Who scouted Shearer? He was Burnley's head scout in the northeast.
Little James.
Ralph Coates. He was from Hetton Hall. Jimmy Robson. That team, like I say, were made up of a lot of people from the northeast.
Wow. I was too young for that. I'm 51.
Me as well. I don't even think my mum was born then.
I know. I don't look 51, by the way. No way. Or see, but it's near not Craven Cottage share. But wow, I tell you, it's not that for the Newcastle. We were on the league, but it is what it is. But like I said, I mean, back to Sean Dyche. He's been linked to a lot of clubs. He spoke about that. Everton wanted him. I think couple of other clubs wanting them as well. Crystal Palace is one of them as well. And do you think going to Crystal Palace is a step up from Burnley?
No. I don't.
Yeah.
I'd say, I don't know, what do you think? Do you think it'll be a step up?
Me personally, if I'm honest with you, I don't think it is. I mean, you'd be better off stopping at Burnley. Do you know what I mean? I mean, Burnley and Palace are on the same levels at the minute.
Step for me.
Mid-table.
It's a sideward step, and what he's built at Burnley. Why would you take a sideward step when you've got so much credit in the bank for what you've done for us?
Yeah.
You know, we've got a new owner. I know a lot's been made of the fact that he's borrowed off the club to buy the club, and he's he's no shaker or anything like that.
Yeah.
But he's promised money in the summer. I think it'd take a club like an Everton, like you say, a Villa, something like that, a club on the next step. Yeah, maybe even a Newcastle, but like I said, well, Mike Ashley's there. He won't go anywhere near the club, I shouldn't imagine.
Nah, no chance. If I was Sean Dash, I'd say tell him to stay at Burnley. But he knows best. I've got Jizz, over 40G. Thank you very much indeed for the compliments. You're 33, but Phil 63. Bless you. And I've got Leila. Dean Tavosky is world class. Is he world class?
He's absolutely brilliant. He's a local lad as well. He's from just outside of Manchester. We signed him off from Brentford. I think we paid him $1.5 million for him or something like that. We sold Michael Keane to Everton. We got 30-odd million, and then he came into our team. So again, Dash just churning out good centre halves. He is absolutely fantastic, and he won't get his chance while he plays for Burnley, but he should be in the reckoning for England. What I will also see is what makes him look as good is he's got an excellent partner at side of him, Ben Mee, who never gets any credit at all, but he does all the dirty work.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're like a poor man's Vidic and Ferdinand, to be fair. Whereas Tarkowski's the ball playing centre half, and Mee does all the graft.
Sure. I mean, I don't get it. Sort of think Tavosky should be playing for England more, and I think he's a decent player. Sort of, is he world class? If he was world class, he'd probably go to Real Madrid or Barcelona.
See, the thing with Tarkowski is he's come out, he's refused to sign a new contract with us, and this is where I don't deny players a move. He said, "Listen, I'm at the stage of my career now where I want to play Champions League football and I want to play for England. I love the club and I'll give 100% until I'm sold, but I won't sign another contract because I want to go." And his performances have been like 8s and 9s every game. So, but you can't stand in the way of someone like that when they've got ambitions. We're never going to be getting into Champions League.
Oh God, no, not on time soon.
It's when players down tools and try and force a move that really gets to me.
This is the thing. That's what I don't like. You don't down tools. So anyway, if you don't play for the manager, play for the club and play for the fans as well. Don't do down tools deliberately. Do you know what I mean? Because we've got plenty of players like that in Newcastle. They do not want to play for Steve Bruce, which I'll come on to later as on. And I've got Leila. Dean Fry would be a good signing for Burnley. Dale Fry.
To be fair, I haven't seen enough of him. He's been linked with us for the last 2 or 3 transfer windows. He's a young kid from Middlesbrough. All the reports are good. Seem to be good. I've seen Middlesbrough a couple of times on telly. He hasn't really stood out. But we will need a centre half come the summer, because Tarkowski more than that. Well, he's going to go at some point, and I think it's going to be this summer.
He was linked to Leicester City last season, and Burnley wouldn't let him go.
Well, I know West Ham, they both put a bid in. West Ham and Leicester both put a bid in. I think it was in a region of about 30-35 million. We decided to keep him, and that's when he put his transfer request in after the window shut. So,
wow. So, you don't even put a transfer request. What have they done? Yeah, do keep on smashing the likes up on my channel, and it's been fantastic. And also subscribe if you are new, and just keep those comments coming through. It's been fantastic. And if you've got any questions for Dean, please don't hesitate. And he'll be answering your questions as well. And I've got Jizz, and I rate Tarkowski a lot. I think he's a brilliant player. I totally agree. And Leila, a question for you guys: Almiron or McNeil?
Is that even a question, that lad?
That is.
It's McNeil all day long for me. I think Almiron, I think he's overrated. I know it's a bit of a bold statement to make. I think he's massively overrated. I think he's got a good engine. He puts 100% in every game. But in terms of quality, he can take the ball 30 yards and then fall over the ball. To me, your players, your Wilsons scare me, your Maximans terrify me, especially after the game at St James's. When we played you. But Almiron for me, nah.
Not for you?
Not for
Yeah,
me.
I see what you kind of mean. Like, listen, he doesn't score for me. I love Almiron. His work rate is excellent for me. He does not score enough goals. Now, whether that's his fault, whether Steve Bruce is not playing the right system to suit him, do you know what I mean?
It's like the old-fashioned back in the day when you used to have a cult hero. He weren't the best player in your team, but all the fans loved him because they put 110% effort in. That's what I get from Almiron. Don't get me wrong. There's some games I've seen him play where he's been brilliant. A couple of games recently actually. But from watching him over however long it's been now, 2.5 seasons for Newcastle.
Yeah,
you can't fault his effort, but in terms of quality, I don't think he's quite at that level.
No, to be honest, he's 27 now, and he should be at his peak at this moment in time. And for me, he doesn't score enough goals, and he can be inconsistent as well for me at this moment in time. But I can
what you said though is it Steve Bruce, because when he plays for Paraguay, he always seems to be getting rave reviews and scoring goals. So
yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, like I said, there's one moment when he made a run from our own half. He ran about 30 yards, and then he got to him, and he just stopped. He could have gone on and on and on, and he didn't. So he just held the ball up. And then after that, all the attack breakdown sort of thing, where his confidence has gone from him, where he doesn't believe in Steve Bruce. But he's going to be another player who's going to want to wait at the end of the season. He probably want to move on because he wants to play for that team that fights for leagues, fights for Champions League. Atletico Madrid wants him. Inter Milan wants him as well. And he just want to play for a club where they're going to help his ambition. And at the moment, no one ain't coming in for him in the Premier League at the moment. And there's a reason why. If it's that great, then there'd be lots of clubs after him.
It might suit him abroad, right? Where it's a little bit slower, the game as a whole. But would it suit him? I don't know.
That's the thing. That is the thing. But I cannot question his work rate. I mean, I do love it. I think he's a lovely smile, but he needs to sort himself out and start scoring goals. And Leila, does anyone know the Sean Dyche accent? I think it's from London.
It's from, I'll tell you where it's from. It's from Kettering. It's like Northampton way, I think.
Right.
So it's just like just South Midlands, I suppose, isn't it?
Yeah. I've got Dean here, 2 words, Malcolm McDonald, 1974 FA Cup semi-final.
I know that a lot since I've been up here, like. When the 2 Burnley centre-halves were hanging onto his shorts and he still managed to score. I was too young for that, like, but I've seen the clips and I've heard about it 1,000 times, I think, since I've been up here.
Yeah, man, I'll tell you something, mate. I mean, he has 5 seasons in Newcastle. His goal-scoring record at St James is absolutely fantastic. If you have a Malcolm McDonald version of the day, I'll tell you something, and actually try to get rid of him. Let me tell you something. Malcolm McDonald will eat him for breakfast. I'm telling you.
He still lives in the area, doesn't
he? He does. He's on NUFC Matters with John Gibson on Thursday night with Steve Ray.
Yeah. Is it right on his debut? He scored the perfect hat-trick on his debut or something, didn't he?
He did, aye. Left foot, right foot, header.
Yeah. So yeah, I know up here he's held in. He's probably held just below Shearer, and from what I've heard with the fans. Yeah.
And he's just absolutely amazing. Saw the hat-trick goal, and I tell you what, he's just top class back in those days. And that was scores. I don't know where Newcastle will be. I got Lila for me. Pope's better than Dubaka. Me, it's better than Clark. Tarkowski is better than Lascelles. I agree with that. McNeil is better than Almiron, and Wood is better than Joe Linton.
Well, Pope to me, he's kept the second most clean sheets in the last 12 months behind Edison. So I know Alisson's been injured, but Pope's a fantastic keeper. I think people know that, and he should be England's number 1 in front of Little Arms. Me's better than Clark. I like Kieran Clark. I think he's a good defender. Scored at Turf as well a couple of seasons ago.
He did. Even Fernandes got the goals, and then we won 2-1.
I think your best centre half pairing is probably Clark and Fernandes. For me, anyway.
Oh, definitely. I mean, there's another defender who's out on loan at the minute at Alaves in Spain, and Dan Lejeune. I think he's a decent player.
He is a good player. And just another thing, what I'm going to say about Newcastle United is, how do you feel about the fact that Ivan Toney and Adam Armstrong are both pulling up the trees in the Championship, and Newcastle seem to let them go for now?
For me, I just don't understand it. I just think our transfer policy is an absolute joke. It really is. Thing is, right, I mean, we try and bring up the best we can. They can't get in the first team. Adam Armstrong played a couple of games in Newcastle, and, part of the thing wasn't going to make it. That's why they sold him on, which is a shame because he wasn't given a fair chance for me. Ivan Toney, he had the ability for me. I would have kept him on as well because
it looks that Ivan Toney. I've seen a few Brentford games this season, and he looks class. I'd walk him to Burnley from Brentford, but you compare him to Joe Linton at the minute. And I know he was a young kid at the time, but I think you've got to give your kids a little bit of time. You must look at him. What's he scored? 26 goals or something in Championship already. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Right. And then people say, "Oh, you got to do in the Championship, man." But listen, he scores, and he scores, and he scores 26 goals this season for a reason. And he's rated 25 million. I think Newcastle should buy him back. I mean, if we look for a striker in the summer, I tell you something, we should have got rid of Dwight Gale. No way, right? We should get Dwight Gale on a 3-year deal. Absolutely no way. I mean,
well, the only reason you've done that is it's worrying signs because obviously the people in the background at Newcastle are thinking, well, if we're going on to Championship, he's been there, seen it, done it, and he could maybe get you back up again. And if you do stay up, you could always sell him to a team that goes down. Like he'd be perfect for like a Sheffield United or something like that.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. Or maybe he's a West Brom. Who knows? Yeah.
Well, West Brom got history there, hasn't he? So
I definitely take him back West Brom sort of thing. They want to buy him. Okay, cool. Go for it. You know what I mean? But Dwight Gale, for me, he's finished at the Premier League. Let's be real. Great Championship player, but not for the Premier League. I got James, you Skeller, Callum Wilson. Ain't you lucky? Now he's fully fit and makes his return on Sunday. Wow.
Is he fit?
He's fit, but are they going to play him on Sunday? I don't know. Could be sub, I think. I'd rather play him from the sub. See what happens after 60 minutes or so. And then get off Joe Linton, get him on, right? Callum Wilson last 30 minutes, then he could turn the game. Dean,
well, that's going to be the thing come Sunday. It's who you play up front. If you play Carroll and Joe Linton, it's food and drink for me and Tarkowski. It's like when we conceded against Southampton last week, Danny Ings, with the pace of him, we can't handle pace, but anything into the box, even Carroll won't win an header against them two.
Nah. Tarkowski is 6'1", and he's 6'1", he is.
But they're both over 6 foot. But they just put the position in the box for crosses coming in is fantastic. Like I say, it's what I'm scared of is Maximin's pace and Wilson's pace if he's fit.
And they got to be consistent as well. They can't be flapping that boot because now it's now or never first. Like, you got to be consistent. You got to take your chance where it comes, and the final ball for ASM's got to be absolutely inch perfect at the minute. His final ball at times lets him doing a bit. But on this day, it could be a world beater.
It looks like he's carrying a knot to me, John, at the minute. He's all right in bursts, but he's not like the St. Maximum at the beginning of the season, especially when we played you. I think that's his best performance he's ever had in his life because he absolutely tore us a new one that day. Like
he did. Man of the match. Man of the match.
And some, yeah.
And man of the match. Great player on that day. I got Jason Dubaka's far better keeper. Sorry, but he is. It's all about opinions at the end of the day. For me, Leicester recruitment is the best in the Premier League. I tell you what, I have to agree with that as well. Absolutely perfect. And the training facilities at Leicester is absolutely world class as well. They have spent a hell of a lot of money.
That's the way to. That should be the blueprint on how to buy a club. Not spend absolute fortunes, but when you do spend money, get it right. I think the scouting network in Europe and that for Leicester is second to none. These centre midfielders they keep bringing in, your Kansis, your Wilfred Ndidis and that.
Yeah.
It's like you say, the recruitment's been fantastic. I agree completely with that comment.
Thanks. So that's a comment of the night. Brilliant. I got Lille again, 28 goals and 9 assists.
Even better than we thought.
And at least also are the most embarrassing team. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you watch AFTV because I watch that sometimes as well. I watch Lee Goddard and Chiggy Chig as well sometimes.
Seen them a few times.
I think for me, the two people that got us into the podcast is Paul, the Tomb Review, right? And yeah, he had a tough time as well last week, by the way. But thank God he did that video last night with Holly. And the early ones was Lee Gunner as well. I thought, hang on a minute. I think Lee Gunner inspires me as well to do this chat as well. Do you know what I mean? Him and Chiggy Chig, good eye, and those two are absolutely amazing. They do absolutely everything. They're one of the biggest podcasters in the world. And I tell you what, those two, if they both listen to us, listen, well done.
Well, I like it when when they play Burnley. I normally see what the reactions are to the goals and that. And it was one apiece a few weeks ago when they came to our place. But they had a penalty, which weren't a penalty last minute. They had one cleared off the line, and it was good watching them then, like, because they were just up and down on the seats and going mad, like.
Wow. I tell you what, they weren't very happy at all whatsoever because they wanted to beat Burnley that day. And you know what it is? Listen, end of the day, I mean, if they cannot beat teams like you and you want to get in the Champions League or get in the top 6, then they're not going to get there at all whatsoever. But everyone's saying that Arteta is not the man for Arsenal. Me personally, if I was an Arsenal fan, I'll be worried about the guy because for me, he doesn't know his best 11. And he overthinks his tactics as well. And they keep playing the ball out from the back, keep messing about at the back, playing out from the back.
The best Arsenal look is when they actually throw all the kids on. That's the best they look because at least, they're giving it, everything. Aubameyang looks like he's fed up with life there. And I don't know. It's a Southern club anyway, isn't it? So,
yeah. Less to say about the Labella, my guy.
Yeah, that's it.
I've got Lil as well. People are saying Fofana isn't good enough for Man U. I mean, Fofana, I watched him a few times. The guy's decent.
He's 19-year-old as well. That's the scary thing about it, that. Such a young kid, that. And he's come in. They got him instead of Tarkowski. And he looks like a good bar, especially 19-year-old.
Yeah. He's good. He's destined for the top. He'll be in the French national team. It's a Leicester City channel tonight or something.
I don't know.
And we've got Layla here. Leicester midfield, 15 million for Tielemans, 35 million for Maddison, 25 million for Fofana, 30 million. Love this team. Who do you support, Layla? You got about 10 different teams there. But it's all about football chat at the end of the day. And at the end of the day, I mean, she's a good one. She's a good one. But yeah, I mean, So who you got the games coming up? You got to play us, you got to play Fulham, you got to play...
We're still going to play Liverpool at home. We've got Fulham away, we've got Sheffield United away last game of the season. So, we've got there's enough teams there for us to pick up the points against. Like I say, the Fulham, the Newcastle, and the Sheffield United games. Realistically, looking at that league table, we need 3 points to stay up. That'll keep us up. When you look at it, Fulham are 7 points behind us and they played a game more than us. And 2 games more after tonight.
Wow.
So if we pick up 3 points, I think we're safe. And I think we've got more than enough to do it.
Wow. I think he will. I think he'll find a way. I'm just looking on this clip, there's offside goal with Wolves goal, and they say it's a perfectly good goal. And Adrian Durham from Talk Sport has come out and he said this: that VAR decision is an insult to the Wolves players who created a terrific goal. And he was not offside. He was definitely just onside, and that should be 1-0 Wolves. Sorry.
Nah, well, this VAR, I said that you could do a whole nother podcast on that because, when you looked at the World Cup in Russia a few years ago and it looked so good, referees going to monitors and all that lot. It's like on Saturday, Chris Wood, he's 6 yards out, got an header, he gets his header away, and he almost gets penalised. The guy's got 2 hands on his shirt at back post. If he goes down, he gets a penalty. So I don't know. It needs to be looked at, definitely, 100%.
Oh, definitely. Hopefully next season they need to rectify it because some of the decisions this season, VAR, it's just been an absolute joke. It really has. Some of the decisions got right. I mean, listen, I watch a lot of Serie A football. They seem to get it right. But in the Premier League, they're just not used to it at this moment in time.
If they do it right and everything's, they've got set rules for it. It's like the handball thing. Things were getting given for touching your arm first half of the season. Now you can pick the ball up pretty much and not get a penalty. So it's just consistency for me. It's definitely the right way thing going. I'm a big VAR fan because I'm a Burnley. We didn't have a penalty for 62 games I think we had a Swiss penalty last season in 62 games. And obviously with VAR, we're getting more penalties because they always seems to go to the big clubs, the big four, the big six. But
Man United is one of them as well. They get a load of penalties as well.
I tell you the team that get a load of penalties, or they did last season, and you won't think Crystal Palace. They get a penalty every game, or they were doing.
Yeah, Rufus Zaha. He's the one who gets it all the time every week.
Yeah, I know. It's just crazy, but it's what they want, isn't it? You can go down. You can go down like you've been shot and get a penalty, or you can rather challenge, stay on your feet, try and get the ball away and get notes. But what? Why can you penalise that? It's a joke.
It's getting worse. It's getting worse. I mean, and I think, like I said, need to get out soon. And some of the managers aren't very happy about it. And yeah, so keep smashing the likes up and me chat and subscribe if you are new. I've got 603 people subscribing to my channel, and which I'm so made up as well. And Paul said Val has to go, and Lyle said Burnley's midfield is weak.
But she's paid so many compliments, and now she's going for the night. Josh Brownhill, I think he's been a good signing for us at Centre Park. I know Villa and a couple of other teams are looking at him. Bristol City's captain anyway, he's good. Westwood's been pretty solid. We've been no frills, but at the end of the day, we get the job done.
Absolutely, it's all about playing to win, sort of thing.
No individuals, but as a collective and as a team, I think we do pretty well.
Yeah, I think you do well there, sort of thing. After you've been in the Premier League for years and years, to come along, Sean Dyche is there. Paul said, like I said, the Wolves goal looks perfect, and it did look perfect, but I'm afraid it was given offside. Just gotta make sure that Fulham don't score now. If they do, we'll be in the bottom three and eat. And if you don't win on Sunday, I think you'll be stuck there. This is why Steve Bruce needs to be sacked. And talking off Steve Bruce, do you think he should have been sacked at the end of the season against after Liverpool?
Who's going to take the job though, John? It's just a straightforward, honest question. Who would take the Newcastle job at the minute? It's a massive club, and I appreciate that. It should never be where it is, but it is a toxic environment from top to bottom at the minute. And any coach worth the while, worth the salt, won't go in there with 7 games left under Mike Ashley's stewardship. Why would you? Nah. So yeah, Steve Bruce, tactically inept. If you're going to play the press, he tries to play the press. If you're going to play the press, then every player needs to conform to it and press, not the star for your team. So he's not the man for the job, definitely not. But it's just who you're going to get in.
Exactly. It's gone from Rafa Benitez to Steve Bruce. It's like ditching a Ferrari and then getting a flipping scorecard. You know what I mean? It's absolutely
going to be a bit contentious because I'm never a big fan of Rafa Benitez. I don't think he did much too dissimilar to what Bruce has done. I know you're saying he finished 10th and 12th, but the style of football, I think Benitez used to go away to places like City and play for a 2-0 defeat. Tactics-wise, obviously, Benitez is far, far, far better. He's not even on the same street as Steve Bruce. But in terms of results and performances, I don't think Rafa was by any means the oracle for Newcastle United.
Fair enough. I mean, the fact is, so we have to understand this, though. I mean, he does have a plan, and the players know their jobs 100%. But under Bruce, it seems that they're just so thinking that he's a strange one. Do you know what I mean? He's just too defensive, and he just don't want us to play. He just don't want us to press. He just doesn't want to commit. He just wants us to get it off as a counter-attack sort of thing as well. But under Rafa,
a big thing for you as well, if you're playing that press and you're going to be trying to keep organised and win the ball back, quick, high up the field. Joe Shelby, for me, is a passenger. He's got his qualities. Don't get me wrong. He'd be fantastic in a team like Leicester where he could just ping the ball over the top for Vardy. But in your system, it does not work for Newcastle United. And too many times, especially second half, you see him with his hands on his knees, blowing out his backside. And I think Hayden's a massive miss. You mentioned Maximum, you mentioned Callum Wilson, but I think in the running, Hayden's going to be the miss because he adds a little bit of steel to midfield.
I totally agree. I think he's had a cracking season versus this season. If I was given the reporter, I'll give me player of the ratings of the season, I'll give him a 7 out of 10. I wouldn't go to an 8 yet because of some of the games I've seen, he's been poor. But when he's on it, he's absolutely fine. But
he's going to put a tackle in. He's going to put 110% in. And he's like a Burnley player, to be fair. He's not got the most quality in the world, but at least you can tell him to do a job and he actually sticks and does it. Now, I don't know what job Shelby's told to do most times. And don't get me wrong, he's what I would call a good time girl. When things are going well and your team's playing well, then he shines. But when you've got to really get into the trenches to dig out a result, for me, he's a passenger.
He is. I mean, if you're 2 round doing the 10 minutes again, I take him off because at the end of the day, he ain't going to do much. I don't. To be honest with you, I don't expect Shelby to do much now. I really don't. Because at the end of the day, I'm not going to get angry. I'm not going to get mad. I'll just say, look, that's how he is. You know what I mean? I'm not going to get angry with Shelby because at the end of the day, that's how he is. And I got Lane as well, Bellerin or Lawton. I would take Lawton.
That's a bit silly. It's got to be Bellerin for me then on that one. That Lawton's all right, but it's definitely Bellerin on that one.
Sure, fair enough. Offside made by thing and nail. Talked about the VAR yet again. I'll say it again. Bring Lucien Favre in. He won't take any shite for anyone, and he will clean the crap players out. Kraft, Hendrick, Selvey, possibly Joe Linton.
But is he going to come to Newcastle United? Well, while you've got Mike Ashley at the helm and Chandler there, are you going to attract these sort of managers? You may well do. I don't know, but it's for me. I can't see it at this moment in time. What I am surprised at is how much you had to pay Sheffield United to get Bruce in the first place. Was it something like £4 million you paid them, or something like
Wednesday, that? Yeah, that's a $4 million.
Don't make any. Mike Ashley is a shrewd businessman. What's he playing at, man?
£4 million to price someone. That's the first time he's ever appeared.
And then you've got to sack him, and then you sack him. Probably a clause in there as well. It could be done as one of the most expensive managers in your history, man.
I know. And you know what he done that? You know what he did that? Because to put two things on Rafa Benitez. That's all they're doing. I mean, they paid $40 million to prove a point to Rafa that we can compete. This is what he could have had. But Rafa didn't want him. Yeah? And then they're going to pay $4 million to get this guy out to Sheffield Wednesday to come manage yours.
It's one of his many mistakes. It's like what was the guy called that played up front that plays in China now?
Rondon.
Rondon, Rondon or Joe Linton, Benitez or Bruce. It seems to get all the big decisions wrong for me, like. But it's his money, isn't it? So, is it his money?
It's crazy, man. And the thing is, it's just an absolute disgrace. I mean, Mike Ashley is a gambler. He takes a gamble. He loves to gamble. The problem is, he wouldn't gamble, get rid of Bruce, and let Graham Jones take over to the end. I just don't get his motive at all whatsoever. With Mike Ashley, I don't.
But although what makes a good coach don't always make a good manager, and there's no doubt Graham Jones is a good coach. But look what he did at Luton. They slid right down the table, and I don't know. He could do with a strong manager alongside Graham Jones.
Roberto Martinez, maybe if he leaves Belgium, I can't see him coming again.
But he's got to be a manager who's got to work with the so-called rubbish in the short term, because you can't just get rid of all your players and bring loads of new ones in. It's got to be a gradual thing, I think.
Yeah. But also, we got players out at the end of the season. You've got 12 players out of contracts at the end of the season. If we go doing all these 12 players, could be on the way, plus ASM, Shelby, Almiron, Dubraka, Joe Linton, maybe. We ain't going to have a team.
No.
We ain't going to have a team. But whoever comes in, that means I'll sure Steve Bruce will still be manager. I'll tell you what, though, I'll come to him in a minute quickly. I've got later game for me. Arteta has to go 10th of the Premier League, out of the FA Cup, Southampton, out of the Carabao Cup, can't beat Slavia Prague, lost 3-0 to Liverpool, Aston Villa, and lost to Burnley. I think the job's too big for him now.
There's another one who's a good coach, or he was a good coach under Pep Guardiola, apparently. It's a totally different kettle of fish when you well, I've never been one, but when you manage a club. And I don't know. I don't know with Arsenal. To be fair, with the London clubs, I'll leave them to it. And if they all went down, I'd be quite happy.
Yeah, I bet. I tell you, AFTV will be having a field day if they went relegated. I'm telling you, and I'll be tuning in for what? You know what I mean?
Give us the Londoners give us plenty up north, don't they? So
yeah. Can't see us again relegated anytime soon. I just cannot see
I mean, neither.
Too big a club, baby. But back on Steve Bruce very, very quickly as well. I mean, I heard last week, I don't know if you saw it last week, but they talking about according to Luke Edwards of the Telegraph, they think if he keeps them up, they're going to offer him a new contract.
I'd like Steve Bruce's agent, Mela. There's some of the jobs he's had and some of the payoffs and everything else he's had. I don't know. I just think if you went down, that you'd have to start fresh. It wouldn't. I don't think you'll go down. By the way, I think you'll stay up by the skin of your teeth. I do. I think you'll get a draw last game of the season, and it'll keep you up. But if you did go down, then I think it'd have to be a complete and utter. Steve Bruce would have to go, and you'd have to build you'll know yourself. It's a cesspit, is that Championship. You know, I know because we spent loads of seasons in there, and there's some big clubs in there, and I can't see you bouncing back first time again if you went down.
No, definitely not. We could be in the Championship for many, many years, sort of thing. If worse, we could even get relegated to League One, could end up doing the Sunderland. I hope I'm wrong, but I can see it happening as well. Do you know what I mean? Because we're going to have the current team. So I'll go back to that quickly. Layla, the Arsenal fan standard are too low. Somehow their fans defend and boost. Yeah, and some defend Arteta. But you're right. I mean, it's going to be a long, long road back from the Championship. If we do get relegated, I don't want to be there. I know. Actually,
you look at the Championship at the minute, and the two of the clubs that got relegated, are pretty much guaranteed promotion already, haven't they? So
definitely, man.
You never know, but there's a lot of big clubs down there.
I know, because the thing is, though, right? They're getting backed. He's getting backed, and Farke is going to get backed in the summer. He's going to get a good few quid at Norwich to make sure they don't get relegated again, because they're going to back him this time. Watford, I think Watford were absolutely fine away. I don't think they get relegated, man. I just don't think they will, because they're going to improve as well. And they shouldn't have got relegated. No way. Nigel Pearce was doing a fine job there. And then they sacked him one game to go.
Yeah, they did.
I just don't get that at all whatsoever. I've got a Watford follower on my Twitter account, Dawn, and she's lovely as well. And supposed to meet her at some stage, but haven't had a chance to meet her, sort of thing. She's lovely, but see what happens on in the future. Who knows? So I was going to say just a couple more questions. You've always said you're going to stay up. Are you still standing? You're going to stay up?
I'm on what? Sorry, John.
Yeah, I was going to say just a couple more questions for a wrap up. Do you think Burnley? And I think you answered your question. Do you think Burnley will stay up this season, and also will they keep Dyche?
100% will stay up. Even when, like I say, when we had 2 points, that was for 7 games. Even then, I still thought there'd be 3 worse teams than us in the Premier League. So yeah, we will stay up. In terms of keeping Dyche, yeah, I think we will. I think you'll give these new owners another year. Give them a year just to see how it all pans out and whether the promises come true. And he has got money to spend in summer. So yeah, I think we will keep him.
Yeah, I think he will as well. I mean, for me, it all depends on these next 2 games. If we get 4 points out in the next 2 games, then I think we may just have done enough by the skin of our teeth. If we don't win these next 2 games and Fulham goes above us, I think it'll be in huge, huge trouble. I really do. And we're going to be in huge trouble. And I just kind of see us getting out of the bottom 3, but I hope I'm wrong. I got Joachim Anderson's world class, fit perfect in the Burnley team. He played for Sampdoria, and I watched Serie A football. He used to play for Sampdoria.
He's been linked with us, yeah? Yeah, he has been linked with us. He was linked with us last summer. But again, he's a player I don't know a great deal about. I'm not one of these who likes, the fancy names or anything like that. We normally go championship route, get a good championship player, knows the country, knows the leagues,
Yeah, that's where it goes, but you just have to see you got to trust Sean Dyche who he buys. He does like to buy British players, doesn't he? What's his name? That Czech lad you got up front. Is it Vidra? He's good, isn't he?
He is good. He's never really been given a chance. But he has got quality, but again, he's one of them. He's a little bit lightweight. He don't quite fit the Sean Dyche mould. We like Ashley Barnes, Chris Wood up front, plenty of physical presence, and an eye for goal. I've liked us playing with Vidra and Wood. Vidra runs the channels very much like Callum Wilson, but probably not. He's not as good as Wilson, but he runs the channels like Wilson, and he leaves Wood in the middle, and Wood's a fantastic finisher. So. Yeah, I'm. By Barnes getting injured, it could have benefited us slightly.
Yeah. Is he fit now, Barnes? Is he fit?
He's back in full training. So I think he might make the bench against Newcastle, or it might be a week too soon.
We'll see what happens. I think those 2 lads are from Barnes and Chris Wood. I think Chris Wood, I like Chris Wood as well. I think he gives us all, done. He gives us all every week.
Gives his all. You know, what he don't get a lot of credit for is his finishing. People just see him as a big unit up front, but he's a good finisher. And to be fair, even if Ashley Barnes was fully fit this Sunday, I still wouldn't drop Vidra because I think he deserves. He's running the team. He's been a little bit for Burnley, a bit like Dwight Gale, getting a game here and then missing 5, and then getting a game and then missing another 6. And he can't really perform when you're only getting a game every 12. You know, a couple of games every 12. He's running the side. He's getting better and better with every game, and hopefully he has a good game Sunday.
Yes, well, I was going to say let's hope so. I can't say that after the Newcastle game. Then I was saying let's hope so. You know, let's hope we both stay up, and you know, both teams contrasting styles there. Yeah, just I was going to say back on my side sort of thing. I mean, I'm going to wrap it up on that one. We've been on for nearly an hour, and I don't want to keep it too long. But did you enjoy coming on, Monsieur?
Yeah, of course I did, mate. Yeah, I love talking football, and we're tailor-made for me because I can talk Burnley and I can also talk a lot about Newcastle, living up here, you know. So it's been a good chat, John. I've enjoyed it. Thanks for inviting me.
Well, it is. You always wanted to come back on the game, my guy, honestly, because you talk a lot of sense. And, you know, I've got to say thanks to the lad called Dave Tron, I think his name is. He's the one who got you on there to chat to us. And just one more thing as well for Leila. Just imagine a Diaz and Van Dijk partnership. Wow. Would that be something? It
would be something. I don't think either of them will play for Newcastle or Burnley, so I think she's on the wrong stream. But yeah,
definitely not. But yeah, you can only dream, though. You can only dream, man.
Maybe on FIFA.
On FIFA, definitely. Then I've got Callum Styles' recommendation for Burnley to sign. And do you know what? I think you've got more chance, or better chance, getting Travis Scott. Listen, you go and get some weird. But listen, guys, thanks so much for joining me and my guy, and you know, just and Dean as well. And if you do like my channel, please smash the likes up, subscribe if you are new, and you're gonna come back on again next time if you get a chance to come back again.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that is absolutely fantastic. But it's been fantastic chatting to you, my friend. And thanks so much for coming on my channel. And you know, it's going to be difficult to try to get a Burnley fan on, but thank God I got one in the end. And I so made
There's only a few of us, There's only a few of us.
There is, isn't there? I've got to try and get a West Ham fan on for next week as well. So that'll be fun and games. And I've got some West Ham followers. I'm going to see if I can get them on there. And listen, go have yourself a good weekend and make the best team win on Sunday.
Absolutely, mate. 0-0. You've heard it here first.
Yeah, first. I've just got one more there for Paul. Have a great night, lads. We will do, Paul. Thank you. And have a good one.
Cheers. Thanks, John.
You too. Catch you later. See you later.